Joining us now is Delaware Democratic Senator Chris Coons. He serves on the Appropriations Committee and traveled to the Middle East a little more than a week ago with a bipartisan group. Senator, is October going to go down as like one of the worst months in history? What the heck happened in that month? The entire world, for so many reasons, looks so many unexpected things have happened. Do you look around and wonder, are we in some type of twilight zone? I'm not talking about just the terrorist attack, but everything that's happened since then.
Joe, this has indeed been a very tough month, and I'm glad to serve here in the United States Senate, where a bipartisan group of us, 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, were able to quickly put together an effective trip last weekend to Israel, to Saudi Arabia, and to Egypt to engage with our critical partners, to meet with the families of American hostages held by Hamas, to meet with senior Israeli leaders, and then to have direct conversations with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and with President el-Sisi in Cairo. We have to be clear that Hamas is a terrorist organization akin to ISIS that does not deserve support of any kind, and support Israel in their campaign against Hamas, but still hold on to the possibility of peace. I think, and our delegation thought, a key reason why Hamas carried out that brutal and horrific attack on October 7th was to prevent Saudi Arabia and Israel from recognizing each other, from becoming closer, from building on the Abraham Accords progress of the previous administration. And the hearing we will have today, Joe, on the Appropriations Committee, where we hear from the Secretary of Defense and Secretary of State, is about the funding required both to support Israel in its fight against an Iranian proxy Hamas and to support Ukraine in its fight against Russian aggression. The higher point here is that Russia and Iran are tied at the hip. They are supplying each other. They are coordinating with each other. And if we aren't a trustworthy and reliable ally, November will be worse than October. This is a challenge moment for the United States to show that we're still willing to stick and to fight alongside our allies who are putting their shoulder to the wheel in the fight for freedom. Last point, Joe, we also have to provide humanitarian support to the folks inside Ukraine, inside Gaza, and in a dozen other countries who are being impacted by these 2 wars as the price of food and fuel and fertilizer are going up. And we need to deter Iran from widening this war in any way that might cause a global economic and energy shock.
Such a difficult situation, Senator, to back Israel 100% in its efforts to destroy Hamas, at the same time be, asking for humanitarian aid to remedy some of the situations that you just caused. It almost seems like they're diametrically opposed. But I mean, how do you do it?
Well, Joe, here's how I make sense of those two things.
Go ahead.
Hamas isn't going anywhere. Hamas is in Gaza, and they're not leaving. They're not going anywhere. Israel has engaged on the ground forcefully, and there is the possibility of a humanitarian pause to allow for the release of hostages, for the international, the folks who are American citizens and citizens of other countries to get out of the south of Gaza, and to allow vetted supplies to continue to go in through the Egyptian entrance at the south of Gaza. Israel is inspecting every single truck. It's been a trickle so far, but the amount of humanitarian supplies going into the south of Gaza, I believe, is on schedule to go up and up and up, from 20 to 40 to 60 to even more trucks a day. I do think it is possible for Israel and Egypt, in partnership with the United States, to show that we can distinguish between innocent Palestinians who need water and who need food and who need medical supplies, and Hamas, who are terrorists, who Israel should continue to fight.
Did you get could we be optimistic at all that the Saudi deal, or that any of the progress that we've been making, it almost seems like it's tough to put Humpty Dumpty, I mean, I hate to use any analogies, but to put this back together again after this seems exceedingly difficult. Did you get the notion, at least from the Saudis, that it was still possible that Iran would be thwarted in what its intention was from the start here, to scuttle that
It is still possible, Joe. And look, I frankly think our President Joe Biden did exactly the right thing in getting on a plane, going to Israel, embracing Israeli leadership in this shattering moment that for Israeli society was greater than our 9/11 experience, and deploying 2 aircraft carrier groups to the region, and now saying through his Secretary of State and through our delegation and others, to regional leaders like the Saudis, the Jordanians, the Egyptians, on the other side of this conflict, there has to be a plan for the path forward for Gaza. We can't have this war go on with no plan for who's going to represent the Palestinians, for how they're going to be governed, and for what their future likes and what their future will be like. So there is very important work going on that exact topic. It will be very difficult to get to a 2-state solution. Prime Minister Netanyahu, let's be blunt, Joe, has not been a fan or a supporter of a 2-state solution. And to ask Israelis to grant anything to Palestinians in this moment is a difficult thing. But the path to peace regionally is for there to be recognition, an end of the Arab-Israeli conflict, and huge investment in rebuilding the West Bank and Gaza under new leadership that is not aligned with terrorism and that does recognize Israel's right to exist.
Senator, we're also helping Ukraine, and I think you can make a case that it's not just tied in terms of the $108 billion, but it's just tied in terms of, I don't know, standing up for freedom, standing up for what's right, good versus evil, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a lot of money. Do you think you feel differently about defense appropriations at this point, given I don't even know if we could run out of stuff eventually. It takes a long time to make some of these things, big, heavy equipment and ammo and all these things. Do you feel differently about how we split up guns and butter at this point? Do we need bigger defense appropriations given recent events?
Joe, a big part of the appropriations that I intend to vote for will be funding tens of billions of dollars of expenditures for defense here in the United States. For standing up and running new lines that will produce more 155 artillery ammunition, more missiles that will help defend both Ukraine and Israel from rocket attack. We will be investing more with this supplemental in American manufacturing, American jobs, and the American defense industrial base. I'm someone who every year on the Appropriations Committee fights hard for humanitarian aid, for development assistance, and votes for a defense bill. That's part of our work on the Appropriations Committee, which is one of the more bipartisan here in the Senate, is to strike a balance between our investments around the world in our allies, in our diplomats, in our development work, but frankly also a strong defense. Without a strong defense, we couldn't push back on China, Russia, Iran, North Korea at the same time. Our global network of allies, Joe, relies on us, not just for our strong markets or our economic might, for our great universities or our cutting-edge research. They rely on us for our military capabilities, and that is a key part of our global leadership.
Public service is, it's a calling, obviously, and I think, go back 2, 3, 4 months, it's all tribalism, and, we all look at it and, have a low opinion maybe of what goes on in Washington. But this is when people like you, and you make it on a bipartisan basis. We need you. We need you guys and gals, and it's so important. And now it all comes into focus how important what you're doing is, and how thoughtful and that we need to be when something like this is happening in the world right now, Senator. So we appreciate it, and we appreciate your time coming on.
Well, thank you, Joe.
Okay.
I really appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Senator.